Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Satyashri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Satyashri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami ठाकुर महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी महारानी की जय, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरे हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama bhaktir bhavati naistuki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. We're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7, the sacrifice performed by Daksha. We read text 48 and 49, which we will do together. I'll read text 48 and then we'll continue with text 49. Text 48. Maitriya uvacha iti daksha kavir yajnam bhadra ruda abhim marsitam kritayamane rishikeshe sanninye yajna bhavane. Now we will translation. Sri Maitriya said, after Lord Vishnu was glorified by all present, Daksha, his consciousness purified, arranged to begin the yajna which had been devastated by the followers of Lord Shiva. Now we will do text 49 together. Word for word. Bhagavan Svena Bhagena Sarvatma Sarva Bhaga Bhak Daksham Babhasha Abhashya Priyamana Evanaga Bhagavan Svena Bhagena Sarvatma Sarva Bhaga Bhuk Daksham Babhasha Abhashya Priyamana Evanaga Bhagavan Svena Bhagena Sarvatma Sarva Bhaga Bhuk Daksham Babhasha Abhashya Priyamana Evanaga Bhagavan Svena Bhagena Sarvatma Sarva Bhaga Bhuk Daksham Babhasha Abhashya Priyamana Evanaga. Svena Bhagena Evanaga Svena Bhagena Bhagavan Svenena Bhagena Sarva Bhagavo What is this? So, Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu, Svena, with his own, Bhagena, with the share, Sarva Atma, the supersoul of all living entities, Sarva Bhaga Bhuk, the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. Daksham, Daksha, Babhashe, said, Abhashya, addressing, Priyamana, being satisfied, Eva, as, Anagha, O sinless Vidura. Translation. Maitreya continued, My dear sinless Vidura, Lord Vishnu is actually the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. Yet, because of his being the supersoul of all living entities, he was satisfied simply with his share of the sacrificial offerings. He therefore addressed Daksha in a pleasing attitude. Please repeat. Maitreya continued, My dear sinless Vidura, Lord Vishnu is actually the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. Yet because of his being the supersoul of all living entities, he was satisfied simply with his share of the sacrificial offerings. He therefore addressed Daksha in a pleasing attitude. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In Bhagavad Gita 5.29, it is said, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasham. Lord Vishnu or Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of all the results of sacrifices, austerities and penances. In whatever one may engage, the ultimate goal is Vishnu. If a person does not know that, he is misled. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu has nothing to demand from anyone. He is self-satisfied, self-sufficient, but he accepts the offerings of yajna because of his friendly attitude towards all living entities. When his share of the sacrificial results was offered to him, he appeared very pleased. It is said in Bhagavad Gita 9.26, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. If any devotee offers him even a small leaf or a flower or water, if it is offered with love and devotion, the Lord accepts it and is pleased. Although he is self-sufficient and does not need anything from anyone, he accepts such offerings because, as Super Soul, he has such a friendly attitude towards all living entities. Another point here is that he does not encroach upon another's share. In the yajna, there is a share for the demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, and a share for Lord Vishnu. He is satisfied with his own share and does not encroach upon others. Indirectly, he indicated that he was not satisfied with Daksha's trying to deny Lord Shiva his share. Maitreya addressed Vidura as sinless because Vidura was a pure Vaishnava and never contaminated by offense to any demigod. Although Vaishnavas accept Lord Vishnu as the supreme, they are not prone to offend demigods. They give the demigods proper respect. Vaishnavas accept Lord Shiva as the best Vaishnava. For a Vaishnava, there is no possibility of offending any demigods. And the demigods are also pleased with the Vaishnava because they are faultless devotees of Lord Vishnu. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ulmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Satadevi Pranamami Hari Priye. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschata Dishatharini Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pabhinebhyo Vaishnavveyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation. Maitreya continued, My dear sinless Vidura, Lord Vishnu is actually the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices, yet because of his being the super soul of all living entities, he was satisfied simply with his share of the sacrificial offerings. He therefore addressed Daksha in a pleasing attitude. So Lord Vishnu was glorified by all the devotees present at the sacrifice of Daksha. So Maitreya continues to address Vidura. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Gaur Hari ki jai. Tulsi Maharani ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada writes, and he quotes from the Bhagavad Gita 5:29, Bhaktaram Yajya Tapasham. Lord Krishna, this is the peace formula. Prabhupada writes in the purport in 5:29. But the important point is practically the first part of the translation, that one in full consciousness of me, Krishna says in 5:29 of Bhagavad Gita. Knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities. This is important, one in full consciousness of me. Then we can understand that actually whatever we do is meant for the pleasure of Lord Krishna, and ultimately Lord Krishna is the beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities that we perform. And how do we get to that point of being in full consciousness of Krishna? Is simply by following the process set by Srila Prabhupada. We can become expert scholars in the Vedas, even of Prabhupada's books. We can become erudite scholars, we can become very eloquent speakers, but if we are not in full consciousness of Krishna, then we have work to be done. So there Prabhupada is quoting 5:29, and they had said, Krishna says, one who is in full consciousness of me, then he can understand that I, Krishna, am the beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities. And Prabhupada has given us a process to follow, to come to that point of being in full consciousness of Krishna. It's not an overnight thing that where we can become, now in the association of devotees, we become fully conscious of Krishna. It's a process to be followed. Anything in this world that we want to achieve, even the most simple thing like getting a driver's license or getting a passport or whatever, there's a process to be followed. And then ultimately you'll achieve the goal. Prabhupada continues, Prabhupada says, if a person does not know that, he is misled. If a person does not know that Krishna or Vishnu is the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, he is misled. So imagine how far we are away from actually coming to our actual position. We are misled. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, we were misled. And now we find 99.9% of the population, they are misled because they do not have this knowledge that Krishna is the ultimate beneficiary. And Prabhupada, in such a simple way, he puts it. Lord Vishnu or Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of all results of sacrifices, austerities and penances in whatever one may engage. The ultimate goal is Vishnu, and Prabhupada says, if a person does not know that, he is misled. How much work we have to do as followers of Prabhupada to take others out of their ignorance because they are being misled. Prabhupada, in such a simple way, he is saying, if a person does not know that, he is misled. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu has nothing to demand from anyone. He is self-satisfied, self-sufficient, but he accepts the offerings of yajna because of his friendly attitude towards the living entities. With his share of the sacrificial results, when his share of the sacrificial results was offered to him, he appeared very pleased. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita 9:26, Patram Pusham Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. If a devotee offers him even a small leaf or a flower or water, if it's offered with love and devotion, love and affection, the Lord accepts it and is pleased. So this is a very nice point that Prabhupada is making about the offerings that Krishna will accept. Patram, pusham, phalam, toyam, leaf, flower, fruit or water, Krishna says he will accept it with the ingredient of love and affection. There is it's also very important for us to understand that we should avoid eating anything that's not offered to Krishna as far as possible. Even if we are traveling or in a situation where we have to or we don't have the facility to cook or something or whatever the case, and we offered vegetarian food or fruit, we should meditate and make our offerings through meditation. There's a very nice example in the Nectar of Devotion where a story is quoted from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana of a Brahmana from South India. It's a very nice instructive story and we can learn a lot from it. It's mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion that there was this Brahmana from South India who was poor or not well to do, and but he was very humble and open-hearted and soft-hearted, and he accepted his position of poverty, and by accepting that due to his sinful activities in his previous life, he was in such condition without any opulences or wealth, and he was very humble and he accepted it. So and he was very satisfied in whatever little he had. One day he went, or occasionally he would go and hear the saintly person speak. And at one such satsang or gathering, he heard that simply by doing meditation on Lord Vishnu, it's the same as physically doing this seva. That means if you can, whatever opulent service is going on in the temple, whatever spiritual activity you perform physically, like going to holy places, taking bath in the holy rivers, if you can do that through meditation, you'll receive the same result. So he thought, oh, this is such nice instruction, and I'll try to follow it. So he was very sincere and he was very humble, therefore he took it seriously, and he took the words of the saintly person seriously, and he began to practice like this within his mind through his meditation. It was simply a change of one's thoughts. Now he became serious about thinking, yes, if I do this simply by doing all these sacrifices and austerities through my mind, and in this way glorifying Lord Vishnu, I'll receive the same result as physically building a big temple and having all the opulent worship of the Lord. So in this way, every day he would have his sadhana through his meditation. He would construct beautiful temples, he would have gorgeous deities installed, full offerings and arti ceremonies. He would also meditate on going to the different holy rivers and taking his bath and performing the pranayama, the breathing exercises, all the different yogic exercises. Everything he was doing within his mind. So it is said that one day he decided to prepare sweet rice for Lord Vishnu. And within his mind, through his meditation, he was doing this. And then to check if the sweet rice was ready, he wanted to touch it and see how hot it was. So it's mentioned that the cooler the sweet rice is, the sweeter it is. It's more tasty. So he wanted to check how hot. In his meditation, within his mind, he placed his finger in the sweet rice and he felt this burning sensation. He got burnt. But it was all through his meditation. So when he came back to his normal consciousness, And then he saw his finger was really burnt, and he was wondering how this happened. But due to his sincere effort, he was actually doing these things through his mind, and then the actual result was that his finger was burnt. So in this way, whenever we are in a position where we cannot cook, or we are under circumstances, time, place and circumstances, but we have to eat something, we should mentally offer it to Krishna. We can say the mantras, Shri Vishnu, whatever, but we should accept what Prabhupada is saying, and he's quoting that Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu is the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities. Also, we'll find early on in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that one who eats without offering in sacrifice, or to him, verily eats sin only. So, Krishna consciousness is so wonderful. When we come in, then we hear of all the rules and regulations, how to do offerings. Also now we have some idea when we are not in such a position. We may not have a bell or the proper cooking things and whatever, but still within our mind, in order to keep our Krishna consciousness, we should offer whatever we eat, especially when we are not in the association of devotees, or not in the temple, or not at home. We should become practiced in doing this. If we don't, then it'll become a habit. I can go to the shop, buy something and eat it. No one's watching, or whatever the case is. So this is a very nice example of how we should not become lazy, even within our mind. Physically, we can become lazy. We say, okay, I'll sleep another 5 minutes in the morning. I'll not follow the morning program today. So it'll become a habit, and then totally we'll drift away from our spiritual practice. But we should practice by making the mind strong. This is what I need to do. Before I eat something, even a fruit, I should first take like a minute or so, and offer it within my mind to Krishna. We should practice. So in this way, we don't drift away from our spiritual practice, at least the basic spiritual practice. As we learn or come familiar with the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, ultimately there's two most important things that we have to do, is chant Hare Krishna and offer the food that we eat. Of course, then later on you can, following the regulative principles and things like that. But if you want to remain in Krishna consciousness, these are the two things. Because these things help us to change our consciousness. Chanting Hare Krishna and eating food that's offered to Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that if we eat food that's not offered, then our mind becomes wicked. Then we act in an aggressive way. We are not friendly. Here we read, Prabhupada gives one very nice description of the super soul. We're always hearing the descriptions of Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya. But here Prabhupada is saying, although he is self-sufficient and does not need anything from anyone, he accepts such offerings because as super soul, he has a friendly attitude towards all living entities. So this is a quality of the Parama Atma, the super soul, is that he has a friendly attitude towards all living entities. How nice that is. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is our best friend. And He's right within us. He knows what we are thinking, and sometimes we are thinking something and we are acting in a different way. We may hate someone, but we'll speak nicely to him, or say something, or glorify him. The super soul knows this. See? But we are fortunate that we have the Lord as our friend. We should always remember this. When we put into the most difficult situation, still the Lord is there, is our friend, and our friend will come and help us. We should just develop faith. Be sincere. Prabhupada also, he continues. Another point here is that he, that means Lord Krishna or Vishnu, does not encroach upon others' share. In the yajna, there is a share for the demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, and a share for Lord Vishnu. He is satisfied with his own share and does not encroach upon others. Indirectly, he indicated that he is not satisfied with Daksha trying to deny Lord Shiva his share. So yajna is the performance of sacrifice mainly through the fire sacrifice ceremony. There's two main ways that Lord Krishna receives our offerings of food items. One is through this fire sacrifice, and the other is through the mouth of the Brahmana. Always when the devotees come or they're invited to homes, immediately you see there'll be a nice feast prepared for them. So the devotees, they know this. This is how Krishna will be pleased, by serving the devotees nice prasadam. And then the other way is through the process of sadhana bhakti, which Prabhupada has taught us on the altar. Nivedyam, Panyam, like this, and then we say the mantras. So in this way, that's the offerings for the deities. But the other two main ways is through the fire sacrifice and through the mouth of the Brahmana or the Vaishnava. That's how Krishna receives the offering. So when Ravindra Swarup is pleased with the prasadam, then Krishna is pleased. Is that? So when you're honoring the prasadam is very important, because the person who is prepared that, and they will benefit. See? So how wonderful Krishna consciousness is. There's no way you can avoid Krishna. There's no way you can avoid Krishna. And you learn how, before coming to Krishna consciousness, how much we were in ignorance. We are thought we are the enjoyers. We want to enjoy this body. I'll cook for myself. I can buy things from the shop. Things, go out and eat anyway. This all leads to sinful activity and repeated birth and death. Prabhupada continues, although Vaishnavas accept Lord Vishnu as the supreme, they are not prone to offend demigods. They give the demigods proper respect. Vaishnavas accept Lord Vishnu as the best Vaishnavas accept Lord Shiva as the best Vaishnava. For a Vaishnava, there is no possibility of offending any demigods. And the demigods are also pleased with the Vaishnava because they are faultless devotees of Lord Vishnu. So in our preaching, we have to be very careful, especially to followers of the Vedic culture or Sanatan Dharma, or what has become known as Hindus. We have to be careful. And we all know from our previous spiritual practices that we are all engaged to a large extent to demigod worship, worship of the Devas and Devis according to family tradition. My parents did this, their parents did that. So in this way, through this type of lineage, family lineage, where we are doing different sacrifices to please the demigods. That when we come into Krishna consciousness, and sometimes we are not guided by the best persons, who immediately want us to give up everything, and we don't have the proper understanding. So it's very important, as Prabhupada is saying, that all respect is given to the demigods. All respect is given. We have to learn this, especially if we're traveling to holy places. There's so many temples of the demigods, and sometimes we go into these temples and we have to offer our obeisances and respects to them. So, but we should understand the position of the demigods. And they are the empowered administrators of Lord Krishna. They provide everything for keeping the body and soul together. Often, I remember when I was in the US, so many American people are so familiar with the Vedic culture. They'll ask me about Ganesh, Shiva, who are they, and things like that. So I'll give them the example, just like the president of the country. He has an administration or a cabinet that they actually do everything, and they report to the president. If they want to make changes, they want to create some law, they will approach the president. So in this way, the demigods, they are part of this administration of Lord Krishna. And they help Lord Krishna to run this material world. And they could understand. I would tell him there's 33 million of these people in government, and you may just have a few hundred. So you can imagine the position, how well this material universe or creation, this earth planet is run. 33 million personalities are taking care of it. Therefore, it's a perfect place. But in your local government, there's so many people, but yet there's so much chaos, and people are not happy. So they would laugh, and they could understand, the position of the demigods were very, very exalted position. So Prabhupada is warning us not to offend the demigods, not to offend the worshippers of the demigods, but you can educate those who show some interest, especially like to bring them, especially to read Prabhupada's books, make them interested in spiritual life. In one purport in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada is saying that these books, they are meant to convince one of spiritual life. So the demigods are very important persons, and they are the topmost servants of Lord Krishna, and we should not offend them. Mainly our offense to the demigods is to offend their followers and those who are still engaged in demigod worship. At one point, Prabhupada mentioned, especially in India, he said that I'm the only one who is preaching against demigod worship. He said that, but he did not offend the demigods. Ultimately, as we've read, and Prabhupada is quoting that ultimately Lord Krishna, everything needs to be done to please Lord Krishna or Vishnu. Hare Krishna. Stop there and take your comments and questions. Okay. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.